A little more in action of the dry brushing. Again, key to dry brushing with acrylics is using the same paint. Look how much paint I get on that brush. A lot of paint wasted, but if you don't use a lot of paint between getting the brush ready to dry brush, it's gonna clog up the brush, and then you can't get the dry brushing effect. So in a way, I'm cleaning the brush with the paint between getting the, I have put some tape inside of here. Again, being able to open it, oops, kind of came unglued. Not what I wanted. But things happen. Again, I have put this piece of tape on the inside just to make sure that the door stayed in its place, but much easier. Again, look how you can see that the brush actually gets dirty from the paint on the tank and of the overspray. I'm going over where I did the overspray, and I did that good 3 weeks ago, maybe more. So it's not a matter of it not getting dry. Again, you can see how, well, this one came off, so might as well use it. I'll just glue that on. I'm not planning to tell how relatively fragile some of these things are. I'm not going, I mentioned before I might glue some of the hatches shut, but this being access for the crew to the tank, they will definitely remain functional because the only places that the crew would get in and out besides the whole special hatch would be the side hatches and the commander's hatch. So posting the figures on the tank kind of make a lot more sense if the side hatches are open. So you can see I'm using the turret off the tank, because that way I can handle it better to get those edges, particularly the underside edges. I wouldn't be able to do that if the turret was on the tank. Again, any line, any edge, any bolt, anything gets buff run over it. Sounds like too much, but it's part of the process. Later, some of these places would be natural places for the tank to have wear, and I would go over it with metallic colors just to give it some wear that's not uniform. I added some armor packs hatches. They're non-functional, so I can still have this open up, and looks kind of fragile, that hatch, so that one might get the glue. That one might get the glue treatment also. Gun port here to the rear on each side. This side was already done. can see how all the details come alive. Look at the bullet guard that I placed. The visor comes alive. The gun manlet and the gun is not functional, but it's okay. At least it's in a good angle, in a good tank attacking angle. It's not way up in the air or way down. It's at a nice neutral spot. See here, I would add some of this buff, and then later I would attack with graphite, maybe some dark silver to get that. Okay, more later. Do some repair here. Okay, an overall shot. Winding here. Already gone over all the edges. You see how the shading in the corners. It's already like, it's, you know, type of weathering, you know. It definitely doesn't look new. It looks, and we're just starting. Next step would be to add the tools that we've already finished, and then after that we'll add some more rusty spots. You know, a word on weathering, at least for me. You know, these vehicles were fighting. They were out in weather, but they weren't going under the rivers, and they weren't, you know, dug out. You know, they're not balls of rust. They were taken care of. So sometimes, you know, you got to be careful with the weathering, not weather too much. That said, I'm happy I got back on the saddle on this one. It's just a beautiful tank, the Panzer III. It's just, I just love the lines. And obsolete very quickly in the war, but what a great looking tank. More later.